Hey everybody, welcome to Gluten Free for All TV. Today we're going to make the most amazing gluten-free chocolate eclairs. On medium to medium-high heat, in a medium-sized pot, bring together 1 1/3 cups of water and 3 1/2 tablespoons of butter. Bring to a boil, then remove from the heat. Add 2/3 of a cup of a gluten-free flour blend. I'm using Duff's Farms for this recipe right now, but any kind of gluten-free flour will do, I'm sure. Continue mixing in the pot until you get a nice squidgy firm ball. Transfer the mixture to another bowl and let cool to about room temperature, about 5 or 10 minutes. From there, we're going to add 2 eggs, one at a time. You don't want to add them together because your batter will start to split. Now here comes the fun part and where you need a lot of patience. You got to mix this batter for a very long time. At first you might be alarmed, it starts to look a little bit like overcooked scrambled eggs, but if you just keep at it, I think about 5 minutes should do the trick. You should get a nice smooth consistency. It's really important that you work out all the lumps and you're left with a really nice smooth batter. Now see, this is looking really good. Now pull out your piping bag and you want to use the largest round setting you possibly have. Add your pastry mix to the pastry bag. Don't worry if it gets a bit messy. I made a complete mess when I made this one, so it's all in the fun of cooking. Line your baking sheet with parchment paper and carefully make about 6-inch strips with your pastry. Feel free to experiment with different shapes and sizes. There's lots of versatility in this pastry, so let your imagination run free. Now pop them into a preheated oven at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit or just under 400 degrees Celsius. We're going to bake these for about 20-25 minutes. While those are cooking, I'm going to make my whipped cream. I'm going to take some whipping cream, some powdered sugar, a little vanilla, and we're going to whip it up and make our filling. Careful not to over whip because you'll end up with butter. And now for a delicious chocolate topping. Take about 1.5 cups of icing sugar, a tablespoon of cocoa, and slowly add a little bit of water, just a bit at a time, and mix till you get a nice smooth consistency. Look at that! Where does the time go? Our pastry's done! Just amazing. This gluten-free version is perfect. They're light, they're fluffy, but they're still a little bit crunchy on the outside. I think these worked out really well. Earlier in the day I made a gluten version, the one shown on the left here. And now, to be honest, I can't see a whole lot of difference between the two. They both have similar colors, they both have similar textures, and look at the inside. Nice and hollow for lots of filling. It's got a great texture too. It's nice and light and fluffy, and it breaks easily in your hands. These are going to be delicious! Now let's get these filled with our whipped cream. I like to take a chopstick and poke about 3 holes in the top of each of the pastries. Because the pastry's hollow, I can actually see inside through these little holes. So when I'm putting the whipped cream inside the pastry, I can see whether or not if it's filling the entire cavity or not. It's a little trick to know and to make sure that your eclairs have enough filling inside of them. I'm using whipped cream, but you could actually use custard or a chocolate filling, anything you like, whatever your taste desires. Whoops, I broke this one, but you can see inside. See the filling and nice and hollow it is? Now to finish it off, take a little bit of our chocolate icing and just spread it across the top of the eclair. It should be thin enough to spread, but not too thin that it runs down the sides. Once you've got your eclairs covered, pop in the fridge and serve when ready. There you have it, folks. Probably the easiest gluten-free pastry you'll ever make in your life, and they are so delicious. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, or make comments below. Have a great day!